Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst, Great Malabite, Emmanuel Ifeni. Malabite, action.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning.
Yes, we'll start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, federal government subsidy on electricity returns. Now 135 billion naira in quarter two. Adelabu, Nigeria's needs about $262 billion investment to meet 30,000 megawatt power generation by 2030. Yes, the subsidy, which during the Buhari era, it was said that it has been quietly removed. But from the reports of the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission, subsidy on electricity is back, and it has gone up from what it used to be to 262,000, an increase of about 275%, because the increase was $99.21 billion over the amount spent in the first quarter of the year. So subsidy on electricity is back. But the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, is saying that, well, for Nigeria to meet the target of 30,000 megawatts by the year 2030, we'll need investment in excess of $262 billion. And you ask the Siemens deal that it's supposed to be, let's say, a game changer for want of a better word. What has happened to that deal? How has it affected this sector? And this sector that has been the sick baby of the nation. And a very important sector that should, in any case, if the electricity was constant and available, without every company becoming also a power generating company, then the economy will be kicking better. But the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, he has his work well cut out, and we'll see how he will deliver on the promise. But 2030, Nigeria wants power, and we want power now. Now, we move over to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, yes. 2023 elections by court order. INEC's credibility sinks as 94% contested posts awaits tribunal. Yes, of the total number, the graphics there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, 1,280 political offices were contested in the 2023 election. Of course, the breakdown is there. But 94.4%, that is 1,209 petitions are before the judiciary for adjudication. And of that, 600 pre-election cases handled by INEC alone. And for INEC, it has earmarked 3 billion naira budget to defend election disputes in court. Well, settling our elections, deciding our elections in the courts and the tribunals, well, it's not a credit to the conduct of the election by INEC. The presidential election, of course, the paper recalling there that it was only in 2015, the first time Nigeria's presidential election did not end up in court. Thanks to Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the president then, who felt, well, somebody won, thank you, I'm going home. And he did not otherwise. He could have challenged that election all the way to, from the presidential election petition tribunal to the Supreme Court. But he chose not to waste the time of Nigerians and waste resources and just took it on his stride. But this in itself is something INEC must work on. Why are our elections this contentious that at the end of the day, most of the verdict has to be decided in court either for against what INEC has done. Now, the New Telegraph newspaper, Bayelsa Imo Kogi Goba, court orders hindering INEC's preparation. Court orders hindering our preparations. INEC is says commission dealing with over 11 pre-election court orders. There's uncertainty over participating candidates. Parties blames challenges on lack of internal party democracy. Of course, pre-election matters. So the political parties have their own fair share of these courts deciding who should contest, who should not contest. If the political parties also do their homework properly, set proper guidelines, and follow their own guidelines, perhaps a number of these cases will not be in court. Now, below the photograph, the front page of the New Telegraph, IMF, South Africa may overtake Nigeria as continent's largest economy. GDP forecast to hit $401 billion, ranking projected for 1 year. Tinubu's reform to spur positive change. That's the prediction. Prediction reflects meaningful reforms, analysts are saying. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, federal government cash transfers target 15 million households to go up 1.125 trillion naira. Yes, the cash transfer. Who should get, who should not get? How do we know that those who will eventually receive this money are actually the real vulnerable people in the economy, in the country? Well, 25,000 over a month, over a period of 3 months. You want to say looks like small money, but if the minimum wage, as we know it today, 30,000 naira, some states are not even paying their workers that amount, 25,000 naira, if it gets to those who are actually poor people, it will make some sense to them, because perhaps for that period, they will eat better, they will get better balance in their diet, and perhaps do a few other things. But we need to see the register that this government is using. So much talk about this register. Who is in this register? Do you know anybody in your vicinity who will be a beneficiary? We should look out for those who are the beneficiaries so that it doesn't become another money for the boys. Now, the Nation newspaper, Edu, 84 million Nigerians living in poverty, not acceptable to Tinubu, will give Nigerians decent work, sustained social protection, 25,000 cash transfer begins. I urge Nigerians to key into all available programs because they are here to help. Well, some of these programs the government is putting in place, well, they may give you palliative, ameliorate the situation for a while, but we'll need long-term sustainable work for Nigerians, and that's where the real challenge is. These palliatives and other headline-grabbing measures are just temporary, as it were. Now, the Business Day newspaper, Nigeria's outrageous ship-batting cost worsens petrol prices. Average cost in West Africa neighbors 5 times lower than the price at which petrol is landing in Nigeria. Of course, when you import petroleum products and you have a port system that is choking, this is what you get. Now, the Leadership newspaper, Varsity Autonomy, fear of high school fees grips parents, students. While the Blueprint newspaper is reporting impeachment, Ganduje broker truce in Ondo Assembly, Ayedatiwa face off. Now, we'll just look at the foreign newspaper quickly. Of course, before we look at the foreign newspapers, Daily Trust, of course, leading us to what is on the foreign newspaper, Israeli forces killed 3,308 Palestinians, 500 killed in Gaza hospital, 2,417 children, women among casualties. Palestinian President Jordan King council meeting with Biden. Of course, that's the story on the front page of the Times of London. Outrage at hospital attack. Strike kills up to 800 in Gaza. Israel denies responsibility and blames jihadis. Biden flies into Middle East. Ruben, Rufai, and Ayo.
Emmanuel Efeni, it looks like we've run out of time. I thought you were going to bring up the issue about the attempt to gag the media.
Yes, you dealt with that extensively. Nobody can gag the media. The media will regulate itself. There are enough laws in the land to deal with all the issues, Ruben.
Right, true.
People are just doing overdrive on this
but
matter.
the question we have not addressed is the question raised by Juvenal, the Roman poet, in Satires, chapter 6, in the 2nd century. Qui custodis ipsos custodiet, who guards the guardians. How do we guard the guardians? But thank you very much, Emmanuel.